Yo, what's up guys? It's Fractires Gaming. We are back with another Fortnite Battle Royale video. Today we're going to be breaking down a 10-kill solo gameplay that I had earlier today. Now I know you guys are probably thinking to yourself, Frac, 10 kills, I mean, it's okay. It's not great, it's not bad, but, you guys are probably thinking, you want some higher kill gameplays on the channel, and I promise, it's coming. And to be fair, I probably had 3 kills stolen from me this game by noobs killing themselves and fall damage on guys who are one-shot who just decided to suicide, and a couple of third-party kills that were stolen from me as well. But this could have very easily been a 13 or 14 kill win, but it's still a good gameplay, and it shows a pretty decent job of rotations when there's not really a defined storm, and I'll get into that here in a bit. And that's basically what this entire video is going to be about, is how to rotate to get high kill games. Now, I know 10 isn't a high kill game, but like I said, 15 kind of is for solos, and that's probably what it would have been closer to, 13 or 14. So I'm going to go off and say this is a high kill game, or at least should have been a high kill game, or at least for solos. So I'm going to go in to explain a little bit of why I dropped where I dropped and where I went throughout the game. So we went the Salty Springs drop. I went into the blue house. Of course, this is the best house to drop when you're going Salty Springs, of course. The close second being the wooden house in the center. So if there's already a couple people heading here, go ahead and go over to that one. But basically at this point we're just trying to find shields, a little bit of better weapons, but the bus went from the northeast corner of the map to the south part of the map. So it was kind of like a Tomato to Lucky bus. It was just to the west of the block starting off. So I know already that I'm gonna be looking for that northeast quadrant is where most of the people are going to be. And then of course, higher areas like Tilt Towers, Retail Row, and you'll see why Retail is actually my first push after I clear out Salty. Now I see this Trog here. I put him in a pyramid. I don't have any traps, so I have to use the stink grenades. I was hoping he was low. I threw all 3 down, and he almost got out of the box, but I ended up killing him. And then I hear another person shooting at me, and now I'm not sure if they're from my east or they're from my south, so I'm going to play this pretty passive. I don't see anybody pushing me, so I go and get this guy's loot, and he did have a legendary scar on him, which is going to help us out later in the game. But I got a lot of kills stolen. I got like 1 or 2 kills stolen from me right here in this next 10 to 15 seconds. Now you're going to see I'm going to have one person right here on this roof that I don't even know is there. I see him, and I put a wall in front of his face. He's pretty new to the game, as you can tell. He didn't react, so I'm just kind of trying to hit some shots, take my time. Only hit him for 76 there, and I guess I'm just trying to overcompensate here, and that's something that I really can't do. So I just decided to laser him with the AR and take him down. Now I start getting shot from behind, and I see he's peeking out of that little hole in the shack, and I also see that there's a player running up from my 255. He turns out to have a sniper. I just try to engage on this guy. My aim is terrible in that engagement, but I don't have many materials, so I'm just going to try to laser this guy. He seemed like pretty new to the game too. Throws a dynamite stick. It actually ends up hitting me, which I did not expect. And then, if you look at the kill feed, he gets sniped by the other player. So I laser him, and then I'm just going to push up on him here. I got a pump shotgun. I know he's one shot, so I just build one stair just to cover my head and take the shot. So at this point, I have 3 kills. Not a very aggressive start if you're going for a high kill game, but towards the end of the game, this game really picks up. And you guys are going to see, I had a potential to make this potentially a 20 bomb if I pushed some more fights, but there were engagements where I just wasn't ready to take them on. I didn't have enough shield or materials, so we're going to have to stick with 10. I make a pretty big mistake here and shield out in the open. I just wanted to conserve my mats, but I do make sure to crouch and uncrouch and move around the whole time. You see, that kind of messes me up there the first time, but the second time it does get off. I'm just going to farm up this tree, and I accidentally break it as well. So a lot of mistakes for me early on. This hasn't been the greatest start to the gameplay, but you guys are going to see this is going to turn into a pretty decent game down the road. So basically at this point, like I said, just farming up some materials and moving through Salty Springs. Now at this point, Salty is clear. Now I don't know it yet, but Salty is 100% clear, and I'm not yet thinking about where to make my next push, but I will be here in just a second. So basically, like I said, the bus came from Tomato to Lucky, so you know there's going to be a lot of people on that northeast part of the map. Hotspots like Tomato, like Retail, Dusty even. There's going to be a lot of people over there. And those 3 locations actually turned out to be the 3 main hotspots in this gameplay that I tried to rotate to, and I ended up finding probably 15 to 20 opponents, which was insane, but I only ended up killing about 6 of them. So basically, just farming up again here, like I said, and then I'm going to take a quad and head straight for Retail Row. Now, the reason I didn't go to Tomato Temple straight off the bat was because I didn't think it would be in the next zone. It was right outside of the safe zone. So I'm going to head over to Retail. It was right on that border, so I felt like Retail was the better bet. And I was actually going to go head over towards Dusty, but you see me turn around. I rethought things, and I was like, let's head over to retail. And you're going to see this is actually proves to be very important, this rotation over to retail row, as opposed to going to Dusty. And you'll see why after some of the loot that I get from the kill that I get, as well as I do find a supply drop that really does kind of help me win the game. Because if I didn't get what I got out of this drop, I was going to be in big trouble. So, rotating over to retail here, I see somebody pyramided themselves in a box, so I decide to just park it here. Now, I don't think anybody's there because it, wasn't newly built or anything. Turns out, it actually does have a slushy soldier inside, and he dinks me for 110 to the face, and then he's trying to make a window play. I try to pop some minis, and he does the window glitch. Thankfully, he whiffs his shot. Very well could have been my death there. I whiff a shot. My shotgun aim was not on point in this one, guys. This was more some AR lasers. He tries to grapple up, and he really gets me weak there, down to 5 health. I put him in there with a trap and get a nice trap kill. I forgot to snap that last wall. I didn't really have time, or else I was gonna die. So I just hoped for the best, and it ended up happening. So we got pretty lucky there with a trap kill, down up to 4 kills now. Again, still not really that high at all at this point in the game. At this point in the game, if you're looking for a high kill game, you're looking for 7 to 8 kills, maybe even 9 or 10 if you're shooting for a 20 bomb. But, that's all we got right now, and he ended up being the victor of retail as well. So we are not going to get any more kills until we rotate to the north. And you guys are going to see, just this 10% quadrant of the zone with Tomato Temple, the hill, and cargo has about 7 people in it when I push over there. So it is just absolutely crazy. I grab the grappler, and I grab the minis, pop another one, and you guys see now, I have 125 health with 700 materials. That is not a very good situation for me, and thankfully, I do hear in a couple of seconds to my north, a supply drop is about to spawn. I'm just scoping out retail right now, and looks like he did win the fight, like I said, and I'm pretty center in the zone, and there's that supply drop that I was talking about, and we're going to end up getting a chug jug out of this drop, which is going to be huge. But I end up rotating to the north, and my goodness, Tomato Temple and the area around it, more so Greater Tomato Temple area, had just so many people. There were probably 3 to 4 1v1s going down with a couple third parties already when I got there. And you see that new zone plays a big part, but I made one dumb decision later in this gameplay in terms of rotations, and I'll make sure to point it out to you guys. But if you have a zone that is mainly just center, the only blocks out areas, like Junk Junction, Wailing Woods, Paradise Palms, areas like that, Happy Hamlet, Frosty Flights, and it doesn't really have a huge section of the map that's out of the zone, then you definitely want to rotate to either the first or second major city that the bus drove by, or Tilted Towers. And here's why I say Tilted Towers. Tilted Towers is always an extremely hot point in mid-game, period. It's always hot, so you're guaranteed to get at least 2 or 3 people there at Tilted. Now, I lucked out and got way more than 3 people when I went over up north here into the borderline of the zone, but again, like I said, I missed out on so many opportunities to make this a 20-kill game. It was not even funny, because literally, as you see, there's 22 enemies left. I probably at least see, make eye contact with and hit at least one shot on probably 15 of them. Or maybe not 15, but probably 10 or 11. And it was pretty nuts that I was only able to get 6 more kills in this entire gameplay. But it just makes a good point of good rotations, and I just wanted to show you guys this. So at this point, I see that there's 2 people to my northwest fighting. One's in a plane, and the other one has balloons up to who knows where. And so I decided to just get up on this hill. And I'm pretty low on mats, but I was like, hey, if I'm in a third party somebody, I don't really need a lot of materials, and I wanted to go for kills anyway. Missed the snipe on the Sunstrider, and he just has high ground on me, so I'm just gonna ramp wall, and get myself, I get myself some high ground. Actually put a pyramid down there instead of a stair, but it's all good. This player was very passive, so I knew I could just push him immediately, but it was not gonna give him a free shot on me. He didn't notice me fall. He threw the boombox, which is the immediate counter to building. Thank you, Epic. But he had no clue where I was, and I just surprised him. And thankfully, he had a crap ton of materials, so this is where I decided to play a little bit more aggressive. I see these 2 guys up here fighting to my north, and I decide to push them. I know one of the defaults at the top. I don't really know where the second guy is that he's fighting, but when in doubt, just get high ground. So I'm going to grapple right up to this default, right as he tries to get away. I hit him for 77 with the heavy, and then I notice the other player that he's fighting behind that 1x1. and I did see him. I'm just going to build up here, take some more shots at the default, and, you know, my aim is trash. I only hit one shot, and he's going to have some time to go into cargo. I don't really want to push that fight because it's not really necessary, and then I see that Prodigy running around. I don't really actually know if Prodigy is the real name, so correct me on what the name of that skin is in the comments below, guys. But I know there's this guy to my northeast that I have to fight right now, and then there's that skin to my south, and then there's the default in cargo. So I wasn't really too excited about this game at this point because, you know, there were a lot of people in between me. This guy takes a launch pad and disengages as well. I don't know, there were so many people playing super passive on me in this game, it was not even funny. I was aiming really, really bad with the SCAR right there as well. So I decided to push up and see where that guy went that I took a sniper shot at, and it turns out he actually died, and we are not going to see him again in this game. And I looked over, and I'm going to push him, and I just never I never got a good look at him. I never saw him again. So, and he didn't even come up in the kill feed, so I don't even know how he died, but I don't know. He just disappeared from existence. So I still know that there's at least one guy in cargo. Either they fought and one of them died, or they're both still alive. So I know one guy's in cargo, so that's where I'm going to push next, because a small part of it is still in the zone. I figured there's somebody in there still healing or something, so I ended up fighting, actually finding out that there was somebody in cargo, but he did just disengage, and he's up to my north. And this might actually be the guy that was rotating to my north, to my south earlier to get my weapons. I'm not too sure. I lost track of players, which is something you never want to do in a game of Fortnite. So that kind of messed me up. He made a pretty interesting play here. That actually did turn out to be the default. Never mind. And I just laser him there with the SCAR. As you see, somebody else goes down in the kill feed as well. And there's out of the remaining 10 enemies, I'm gonna end up getting 4 of them. But again, I had so much more chances. Just looking back at this gameplay for the first time since playing this game, I could have had so many more kills in this game. It's not even funny. I hear these two guys fighting over to my west. I try to land a cheeky sniper shot on this Lynx. My sniper aim has been garbage, and I hit him for about 70, 79 with the SCAR, 70, 78, 79, and I'm top 10 at this point, and I really want to get some more kills, because I told myself if I didn't get 10 kills or above, I'm not uploading this video. So I had to get 10 kills in a win or higher, and I just met that benchmark, but it wasn't in the necessary way that I wanted to win the game, and you guys will see what I mean here in a few minutes. This Lynx is peeking her head, so I take some shots, and you guys didn't see that. It was actually really hard to see, but I just remember from the game, somebody took a heavy sniper shot at me from somewhere to my southwest. Didn't know where this guy was until right there, saw him behind the truck. I peeked for way too long. I was just real lucky that he missed the shot. So at this point, I know there's a guy to my south, and then there's a guy pretty much right under me in that base, and I'm just trying to have a sniper peek battle with this guy. Probably shouldn't have done that because of the guy below. He could just laser me or one-hit me if he has a sniper, so not the smartest decision in the world. Now you're going to notice the one mistake here that I made on positioning. I wasn't paying attention to the storm, and that was a real mistake, and that's not going to cost me much HP because I played this fight pretty well after that, but I could have avoided a real pinchy situation if I played this better. But you're going to see this guy doesn't prove to be much of a threat. He proves to be kind of new to the game, so I mean, he knew how to build, but he just didn't have the in-game IQ that you see a lot of the top-tier players have. So, I mean, and not to say this guy's bad or anything, he's not. He's just not genuinely, he just genuinely didn't play that fight the way that anybody should have played any fight. So I'm going to go up, quickly grab his stuff, and I'm forced to go into the Dusty Divot. Now, this is something you never want to do in the Final Circle, because Final Circle, top 15 or lower, is all about high ground. And if you're in Dusty Divot, which is a common endgame zone, and you're actually going to find out, this isn't actually where the game ends. It doesn't end in Dusty. It actually ends over by Salty. The zone was really weird in this game, but I was forced to go into the Divot. So I'm telling myself, I need to get out of here as soon as possible. Now, there's also a guy with a quad crasher. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm going to have to check if you guys can hear audio in the gameplay. I think you guys can, but if you can't, there's a guy just racing around Dusty Divot right now with a quad, and I had no clue where he was. He was somewhere to my southeast, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I'm going to grapple myself right up out of the divot as fast as I can. And we're going to move on here to our next engagement. I see a guy launch padding out of the sky, and we're going to go over and engage on him. Just making sure there's nobody to my mountain up to my west, and we'll feel free to engage on this guy. Should have hit this sniper shot that you guys are about to see because he was hard peeking. I think the plane that was flying, yeah, I think that's who he was peeking. I completely missed the shot. Don't really know how, but this guy really was trying to just make a bunch of weird stare edits. I didn't really know what he was doing, so I ended up lasering this guy pretty easily. I see that he's messing around with the stair inside of his 1x1, so I just decided it's a good time to take some shots. And he starts putting up walls, and I just get 2 laser shots with the star, and it sends him down. Now, the one thing that I wasn't happy with about my loadout was I didn't have a pump, and I took the legendary heavy over the green pump that I had in salty because, I mean, that's just statistically better, but I really wanted a better pump, and there we go. We got ourselves a legendary pump shotgun, and we're in the top 5 now with 8 kills, and at this point, I was actually feeling pretty good about the game. I felt like I had a good chance at winning because nobody was really trying to claim any high ground on top of that hill. Everybody was playing real passive. There's 1 to 2 people in the divot, 1 person still in salty, and then 1 person in that house. So nobody was really playing really aggressive, so I felt really good about this game. And as the zone starts to move in, it's going to push all these players out, and this is where it starts to get a little bit more nuts, but not by much. It's still going to be a pretty silent game for the next 3 or 4 minutes. But you know, I'm just trying to get some high ground right now, just build up and scope out my area. I know that there's 4 players and one of them is in a plane, and I'm just trying to make sure that there's nobody up on that hill. Even though it's not in the zone, somebody still might try to rotate up to it with a zip line, and I did not want to get taken by surprise there. But I wasn't playing this very smart. I was completely leaving my head exposed, but in a couple seconds I will correct it. I see a guy walking behind that house, so got to take note of that. And this is what you need to do. If there's a guy above you but you still want to take shots, build a wall and then put a ramp above it. I'm sorry, not a ramp, a floor. Oh, goodness, what's wrong with me? So, I see this guy in the plane, and I know I have to shoot this thing down. Now, I don't normally recommend you shoot out planes, but if you start shooting at planes, it gets players to either jump out of them, and if you start hitting them, it gets them to jump out of it even more. It urges them to jump out. So, basically, I try to disengage from that build, because I'm not trying to get pushed out of the building. And this guy goes into the storm. You're going to see that I take him for all his shield and then a big chunk of his HP. So I know this guy is at 1 shot. So I try to get the sneaky kill, and I miss all my shots. That turned out to be a heartbreaker. I still think I end up killing that guy, but it just wasn't a good situation. I laser that prodigy right there. And, oh, that actually is the name of that skin. Okay, cool. What's wrong with me, guys? I need to stick to the... I need to just pay attention. So, basically, that guy in the plane just crashes, and I think this is the guy that was in the plane right here, but at the time, I thought he landed below me. So, I don't know. I must have made some sort of mistake. Now, I know there's still 1 guy in the divot. At this point, I think 1 guy's below me, and I think 1 guy's over there. That's actually not what happens. There actually turns out to be 2 people in divot, and then 1 guy right there that I engage on. But I actually only end up killing 1 of the 3 remaining people in the lobby, even though I should have killed all 3 of them, because both of them killed themselves. It was hilarious. So right now I'm just engaging on this default skin. I know he's not probably very good just because he's playing super passive, and it's not really what you want to do in the end game. You want to go for high ground, you want to go for the kills, but I didn't know where he was. Now I saw the prodigy down there, 1 RPG shot, and he is done. Now there's still that default in that shack, and there's still the 1 guy in divot. Now, I don't actually know where this last player is at this point, because I wasn't sure. I thought the guy landed below me. Now, no way am I going to peek this guy. And as soon as I see that he's starting to hard scope me, I knew he was going to either A, die to the storm, or B, he was going to break that platform and I was going to headshot him with the bolt. Now, at this point, I see Salty Cliff is in the zone. I try to get to it, and I fail both times. That nice montage there for you guys. And all of a sudden, this carbide just, bam, just flies right in on me. Just kind of choky builds right there. We get into a little bit of a build-off. He gets some high ground, and basically, he didn't push any higher up on me, so that allows me to get the high ground on him. I choke that pump shot. He boogies himself, so I go down there to take the shot, and at that point, he literally just decides to just, like, jump off, and I don't know what that guy was doing, but he just decides to jump off the map, and I end up getting the 10-kill win. I guess that's alright. I mean, I'm a guy that, you know, likes to get 12 to 14 kill wins. If I'm considering it a high kill game for me, I'm going 13, 14, maybe even 15. But, you know, that was still a good game. We got Frank with the dab there, and we should retire that. But, you know, for now, we'll keep it there. Basically, the positioning thing is huge, guys. If you are rotating in the right directions and you are going to wherever, let's say you have a zone where Tilted and Divot are right on the border. You always want to push to one of those 2 locations. Tilted, Divot, and Salty are always really hot in the mid-game. But if you don't get a zone where it's a profound area that you should go to for aggressive play, just go to whatever first major city that the bus dropped off at, or just push for high ground if you're a little bit more of a passive player. But that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. God bless, and peace out, guys. Have a good one.